Hello, good evening. I hope you're doing well. Lovely to see you here. I'm going to dive into the class. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them as we go, or, you can always put them in the chat or send me a message later if there's something you want to chat about. So today I'm going to talk about the basics of essential oils. So very simple. I have some notes that I'm going to be reading from. My computer screen is looking really blurry, but it's only on this mode. When I went into like my video filters, it looked normal. So I'm hoping that you get to see the normal version of me and not the like super weird blurry me that I'm seeing right now. It's super distracting, but I will get over it. I'll just try not get like seasick. It's really weird on my eyes. So the first thing I want to start with is actually my story about oils because I was not a believer in oils. I have worked at many a health food store. I am very much a science-based nutritionist. I was a doula for many years and definitely did a lot of research and science-backed practices. And so with oils, it was always kind of weird to me, and it always felt very culty. I'm gonna just go there. I'm gonna be totally honest. Sorry, my phone's vibrating beside me. It just always felt a little weird and a little forced, and I didn't quite get it. And again, because I'd worked in health food stores, I've worked, around essential oils. I actually at one point took an aromatherapy course when I was in high school, because it is interesting. There is a lot that is very beneficial with aromatherapy and with, the scent glands that go from our nose to our brains, and scent memories and things like that are really powerful. So I knew there was something there. I just didn't ever dive in. To me, it was kind of the snake oil side of things. I actually had a teacher at nutrition school who was a Young Living brand partner. And so she ran a class at one point. I'll have to find those notes, actually. I think I have them somewhere, about aromatherapy and the power of essential oils and what they are and what they do. And she did some really cool stuff with the Young Living oils. The one I'll never forget is she had lemon oil and she put it on a styrofoam container and just let it sit there. And she was like, we're going to let this sit. And at the end of the class, I'll show you what happened. By the end of the class, the container, wherever the oil had touched, it like had eaten through it. It was crazy. And so she said, this is why, like essential oils are legit. They are powerful. They, have qualities to them that are beneficial, and you have to be mindful of them. And that's, again, a little bit of wariness there, but they're incredible. Like lemon essential oil is incredible at getting rid of residues, any type of sticky residue, plastics, anything like that, stains, scuffs. Lemon will eat right through that. So you don't ever put lemon on plastic items, although I think the styrofoam versus a hard plastic is a different situation, but you do want to be mindful there. You want to be careful. And so, but it's interesting because there are chemicals that I know that we use. So for instance, DEET in mosquito repellents, if you look at the warnings, it says, don't ever spray this on thin plastic. So I know many a camper and many a person with camping folding chairs who've sprayed mosquito spray with DEET on it on the chair or in the tent, and it's melted holes through that stuff. So DEET is a chemical that I would not touch with a 10-foot pole because it is synthetic. It is harmful to a lot of our systems. But it's interesting how, people will take that seriously and not oils, right? And that was me, totally me. So I did this class, thought it was cool. I did buy some essential oils from her then. This is where I got into oils. I went more for the emotional side of oils. I went for the ones that were grounding and helpful for brain health and things like that really interested me. Fast forward like a decade. And my good friend Lauren and I had got to talking, and she's been a brand partner. She was also a maker in Durham region for a long period of time. So we met at shows and connected that way. And she said, you know what, like anytime you want to try them, let me know. I've got this, and that. And I followed along for a while and I just kind of watched it. And then I saw that she had Thieves, and Thieves was one that my teacher again had discussed. And I know it from that time, and I know the power there. So Thieves is a mix of, it's either 5 or 7 essential oils. I can tell you. It is, let's see, that's the like main active ingredient is clove, which is super antibacterial, really helpful. We'll get into that later. But Thieves has a fun story that goes with it, which is that in the time of the plague in Europe, French thieves would go around looting bodies and homes that were filled with the plague, and these people wouldn't get sick. And so the French king called them in and said, we won't put you in jail or kill you if you tell us what your secret is. And their secret was these herbs and spices. So there is lemon essential oil, cinnamon essential oil, eucalyptus, rosemary, and clove. So that's 5. So the 5 thieves is what it was called. So the thieves line I knew, and I'm very into chemical free, toxin free. I didn't dye my hair for over a decade. I didn't use nail polish. I was like super clean, super anti-chemical, which is a good thing. And it really benefited me. And I am still that way. My hair has turned white after children, and the stress of the last couple of years. And so I do make exceptions to the rule. I do have a great, more natural based nail polish. Nothing's perfect, but anyways, I have dabbled in things that I would never have touched 10 years ago. Irregardless, I wanted to make my own cleaners. So I contacted Lauren. I said, Lauren, hey, I'd love to get a bottle of the Thieves. I really just want to make my own cleaning stuff. That's all I want. I just want the Thieves because I know it's been researched, and there is a research study showing that it kills like 99.6% of salmonella, I believe, when used in cleaners. So I was like, you know what, this is great. I'll make my own cleaners. The end. She tried to tell me about the Thieves cleaning solution, like the cleaning concentrate or the household cleaner. And I didn't have ears for it. I was like, I just want the oil. I don't want anything else. I just want that because I'm gonna add it to my cleaners. The end. So I bought the one oil from her, and I used it somewhat. I was also a lazy DIYer. So I'm the type where like I'll Pinterest a ton of stuff and be like, I'm gonna do that, and then I'll buy like half the ingredients and then forget. So, anyway, so I dabbled there. And as the pandemic wore on, so this was into the first year and a half of everything that happened, my mental health was deteriorating. I was seeing a therapist. I was, trying to eat properly, but I just found that there was something missing. And so what happened was I was watching Lauren's stories, and there's a feelings kit that Young Living has, and there's so many other oils that they have that are specific to feeling a certain way. And I was starting a business. I'd already run my business as a doula nutritionist for many years. And I just felt like I was hitting a wall and I needed something. And so she ran an abundance challenge, which was really powerful for me. I bought the set, and then I bought also, so it was abundance and then a gratitude challenge. So there were 2, so back to back. So we did abundance and then we did a gratitude challenge. And after the gratitude challenge, I was hooked. I absolutely adored it. And the funniest part, like it really, so it got me. So the emotional side of things, there were some oils that were super grounding. Abundance was beautiful. The oils and the items that we used in the gratitude challenge were also just so powerful. And I felt better. And that was my aha moment. It was just like, I was doing all these things, but nothing was really clicking. And all of a sudden I have the diffuser running and I'm feeling lighter. I'm feeling more able to take a deep breath. I'm feeling better able to cope with everything that's going on in the world, and with 2 young kids and, a house that's constantly a disaster. It was just very helpful for me in that time. And so I really appreciated the oils for that aspect. And then what happened was I placed my gratitude bundle on Essential Rewards, and unbeknownst to me, Lauren, my friend who signed me up, she had signed people up under me, and they had also done the challenge. And so what happened was the second month, I had forgotten to cancel my ER order. So I was kicking myself because it wasn't cheap, right? It was a full bundle of stuff. And so I got it on repeat, which I was actually grateful for because I had like a 15 mil Thieves and a few other things that I've gone through really easily. And what happened was the people who were under me had also ordered, and I got a commission check. Because when you place an order over 100 PV, if you're a brand partner and you have people underneath you, you get a commission based on their orders. And so one of the people underneath me was a brand partner who was also signing up people and getting people signed on to the business. And so everyone was placing orders, and I ended up with a really nice check, and realized that, this is it's stuff that's very helpful for me. It's chemical free. It hits all the marks that are important to me, and I get to make money off of it for basically doing nothing except ordering oil. So it was a very awesome surprise, a really big aha moment. And I just felt fantastic. So right now in the diffuser, I have my Northern Lights Black Spruce. This is one of my favorite for grounding overall. I actually really love it at bedtime too. It's just like, imagine sleeping in the woods. Just, it's very, very grounding. Tree oils are really excellent for that. And I love the Desert Mist diffuser because it's got the candle flicker setting. So I always feel like it's just way calming, especially when the lights are low or off. It's very nice to just sit and do some meditation or some yoga and have that running. So anyway, so that's kind of my story about how I got into oils, and I'm going to go in a little bit more about the facts with oils. So essential oils, I'm going to start off. What are they? They are the most powerful part of the plant. So they're distilled from shrubs, flowers, trees, roots, bushes, fruit, rinds, resins, and herbs. And they consist of over 100 different natural organic compounds. So there's a lot of science in essential oils. And this was also, so what happened when I started was I told Lauren, I said, Lauren, look, like I know what they're doing for me, but I don't know why. And I'm wondering if there's any reasons, like what's going on. And she started actually talking to me about squalene and terpenes and all of these compounds that are part of essential oils naturally. And so there's science there. This is now getting into biochemistry, which is one of my favorite things ever, especially as a nutritionist. I deal with biochemistry of our bodies quite frequently. And now here's biochemistry of oils. And I found that so fascinating. She actually sent me a desk reference book that goes through each individual oil and tells you exactly what the chemical components are. And the testing with Young Living is such that they test every hour when a plant is getting ready to harvest to get that maximum amount of the active compounds. So there's a real science and also a real, I don't know, naturalness to it, right? So they're not harvesting and just testing after harvesting. They're testing before they harvest because they want to make sure that everything's maximal, whether that's at 2 p.m. or 2 a.m. They're not going to start harvesting until those levels are where they need to be. So in humans, many of the oils provide support for every system in the body. So your skeletal system, your skeleton, your bones, your muscular system, circulatory system, your endocrine system, and your hormones. Endocrine and hormones are the same. Your respiratory system and your immune system. So something like the Northern Lights Black Spruce is actually very good for the airways as well. It helps your lungs, and it helps with feelings of calmness, right? So that's kind of why I'm diffusing it for us now. You can smell it through my computer, right? Yeah. They support brain health and a healthy weight. So this is part of the hormonal system, so your weight system. I'm also actually reading a really fascinating book right now on the breath, and there's a lot of science that actually speaks to the way that you breathe and the way that your lungs function is actually a very big determinant in your weight. So stay tuned. I'll post more about that probably on my Instagram, but really cool information, but also makes sense. They're used extensively for spiritual support. So essential oils, you can read about them in the Bible, in the Torah, in the Quran. There's essential oils listed in all of those ancient texts. And yes, they're religious, but it's just like, it goes that far back. It goes beyond that. It goes to ancient Egypt, ancient Greece. They were using resins and oils and things in their healing. So really incredible, the history of oils there. But spiritual support and prayer is a big part of it. So I know when I'm doing meditation or yoga or trying to just decompress, nights like tonight where I put my oldest to bed, she's now sleeping fully on her own, which has been a feat. But I get that time to do some stuff for me. So I really appreciate those nights, and I appreciate having the oils to kind of help me ground into the moment, so they've been used for thousands of years as beauty aids and for emotional support. And that was like, they're my emotional support oils is what I call them. And an oil and diffuser can soothe a child's tough day at school. We have used a few oils to help calm down tantrums. I do like to throw the diffuser on when I get home from work, just to, again, get everyone present and in the home and let everything else kind of be. It helps to calm the nervous system. And they can be used as an alternative to cleaning chemicals in your home. So as I was saying, I was using the thieves. Lemon is also very powerful for cleaning. And there's another oil called Purification I'm going to talk about that I use in cleaning as well. And so you can literally start swapping out everything in your home that contains chemicals for something that's essential oil based. And I think that, again, that just speaks to the power of the oils and how effective they are. And you can do it without breaking the bank. So a lot of the oils, some of them are uber expensive. Some of them are, or most of them are fairly reasonable. And I'm going to talk about why some of them are more expensive. There's about 300 oils on the earth, but you only need about 10 to 20 of them to build a good kit. So I'm going to be talking to you tonight about the starter kit through Young Living and all of the oils that come in it. And that starter kit also comes with a desert mist diffuser, so that you can get started right away. You don't need to be an aromatherapist. I know this is a thing, and I'm very much a creature of comfort when it comes to schooling. I love to learn things so that I don't have to do things. You don't have to do that. You don't have to be an aromatherapist. You can just play with the oils, see what you like. There's tons and tons and tons of diffuser recipes. I have an app that I send to all of the people who buy from me, that I find is really helpful. If you don't want to buy anything, but you still want the app, send me a message. I can send that to you. It's got tons of information on every individual oil, what they're used for, DIYs, diffuser blends, roller blends, tons of stuff. So you don't need a degree in aromatherapy to be able to use it. And so there are three main ways to get the oils into use. So topically is one of them. You can rub it on the skin. Sometimes with my girls, to help them calm down on a tantrum, we'll put some oil in our hands, rub them together, and do what we call a scent tent. So you rub the oils in and you breathe in deeply and exhale. You can also ingest and cook with it. Now, you cannot do this with every single oil. I will do it with Young Living oils. They actually have specific labels with Health Canada that they're labeled as a food product versus an oil. But this oil is the same that's in, so this is lime. This is the exact same lime oil that's in the aromatherapy version. It's just that they have to have separate labels in Canada to be able to be dubbed food grade, but all of the oils are food grade and can be ingested. There's oils I wouldn't ingest, but there are lots that I do. So like the lemon oil, orange is really nice. Lime, I love in my Ningxia. Frankincense, I take daily internally. Very good for gut healing and skin healing and just overall health. We'll talk more about that after. And then you can diffuse it and inhale it. So again, the scent tent is inhaling as well as topical. You can use it as a perfume topically. The diffusers are wonderful. And all of the diffusers with Young Living are, what's the word? Ultrasonic. So they are water-based and they diffuse it in a cold mist. So the diffusers all act as humidifiers as well, which is really lovely, especially in our dry winters. So really interesting stuff. And again, diffusing can be the most effective because it doesn't have to go through your digestive system or through your skin, right? It goes directly into your lungs, which filters into your bloodstream. So the tests have shown that oils reach the heart, liver, and thyroid in 3 seconds when inhaled. So when you take that deep breath, they're found in the bloodstream in 26 seconds when applied topically. And expulsion of essential oils takes 3 to 6 hours in a normal, healthy body. So there's some people who are concerned about buildup in the liver. It doesn't happen with essential oils. It just doesn't happen. The research shows that it is gone within 3 to 6 hours. So that's where you have an issue sometimes with some animals. So like cats can't expel certain essential oils as quickly as other mammals because they don't have a particular enzyme in their liver to detoxify it. We have that in spades, so it's not a problem for us. With cats, you just have to be mindful that, there's a door open that they can exit, and that, if you would ever apply topically, I haven't with my cat, you're just being mindful of their behavior. So essential oils were first mentioned by name in the Bible. We know that they were used before that. But they're mentioned 1,100 times directly or indirectly in the Bible. And some of the oldest cultures on earth used essential oils. So the Babylonians used cedarwood, myrrh, and cypress in a lot of their health and beauty regimens. The Egyptians used them for beauty and embalming as well, so for the mummification process. And they have the oldest recorded deodorant recipe made with essential oils. So, the Egyptians, they were in the know about how to use essential oils for beauty and for odor. situations. And then even in Pakistan and Rome, they use essential oils in their communal bathhouses, right? So again, to open the lungs, a lot of eucalyptus, cypress, cedar would have been used there as well. There's a whole bunch that would have come from there. And then, like Jesus was given gold, frankincense, and myrrh, right? So frankincense and myrrh, frankincense is sometimes referred to as the coconut oil of essential oils, because it has over 10,000 uses. It's also known as the king of oils, because it does everything. Does everything. And it's actually really lovely for that grounding piece as well. Essential oils were brought back by medieval Europeans from the Crusades way back in the day. And it was only after World War II, when essential oils were rediscovered, that science started to grow on essential oils. So that's where, again, my interest got piqued. If you go on PubMed, there's thousands of studies on essential oils, which just blew my mind. And I love that Young Living does a lot of their research, but also their oils are all tested by third parties, so that they can stand by their purity. So do essential oils work? Yeah. Yeah. In a nutshell, yes, for sure. Unfortunately, though, there is no rating system. So again, you have to be mindful of what you're buying and where you're buying from. You really have to trust the source. There's no like nutrition fact labels on essential oils. And you have to know the company that you're purchasing from. And this is where, again, I thought they were snake oil because I know a lot of the companies that sell essential oils and I didn't trust them one bit. I always got kind of headaches. It was never a good thing for me. So I just kind of shied away from them. But Young Living is a global leader in essential oils. They have over $1.5 billion in sales annually. So there's a lot of people buying Young Living essential oils worldwide. So I have a girlfriend who has a home in Mexico. I sold it to her. Lauren, my mentor, is actually now in Switzerland, and she is starting to sell there. I have another girlfriend who's in Portugal. It's everywhere. And it's really cool that everyone across the globe is using it. They also have farms all over the globe. So we'll get to that. They have 3,000 employees globally. So again, they employ all around the world, 600 life-changing products, 16 corporate and partner farms. So they own all of their own farms, and there are more than 20 international markets with over 50 highly trained scientists. Again, the science piece is huge, and 12 independent partner labs and 4 million global members. So it's a really well-trusted, well-known, how long have they been around? They've been around for oh my gosh, I want to say like 30 years now they've been around for. So what sets them aside is their seed to seal promise. So it's the promise of purity. All of the oil is run through a vigorous 8-point testing to ensure the purity. And they do third-party testing with accredited, respected, independent labs. Young Living has never had to recall an essential oil in all of their time of business because there's no chemicals. There's nothing in there that can harm you. I mean, I could chug a bottle of any of these and yeah, I'd probably have an upset stomach, but it wouldn't hurt me. There's no reason to recall any of these products because they are completely natural, and your body knows what to do with it. So your body can see these oils and recognize them and make use of them. Regardless, I wouldn't recommend chugging a bottle of oil. Don't do that. So you can really trust Young Living's integrity. And that's part of what got me is their science, their integrity, the seed to seal promise. So all of their seeds are sourced organically. They're all grown organically. There's absolutely zero chemical in any of their growing processes. They've even gone so far as to test different varieties of sheep for their lavender fields to find one species of sheep that will eat the weeds in between the lavender fields and not the lavender. Everything's hand weeded. They pay fair wages to all of their employees. They source everything from, even wild crafted. So the ningxia I'll speak about, the goji berries are all wild crafted. The wintergreen that we use is all wild crafted. And again, people are very well paid, or paid appropriately for their time as opposed to, rock bottom dollars. And Young Living has a deep knowledge and involvement in every step of the process. So yeah, I don't buy essential oils from anywhere else because I don't trust them. I don't know where they're from. I don't know where they've been farmed. I don't know how they were extracted. Chemical processing is a thing, and that's why I believe I got so many headaches with other brands of essential oils, especially lavender. I found I always got headaches from essential oil lavender in anything. Like I just avoided it like the plague. And the Young Living lavender has never once given me a headache, and I was in shock and awe. Um, and it's just the amount of people you need to do the testing and the amount of just care and heart that goes into this that really got to me. And the purity. So, you can find bottles of frankincense for $7 at, the dollar store now is selling essential oils. Like run, run the other way. But it costs way more than that just to distill it. So it's a big red flag when you see oils that should be expensive that are really cheap, because chances are it's been adulterated, which means, they've cut it with a different oil or they've used a chemical process in there somewhere. Typically you're not getting a pure oil at that point. You're getting some version of that oil or a knockoff. So they'll use like a different variety that's cheaper and easier to maintain, but doesn't have all those chemical compounds in them that make them what they are as essential oils, right? That are really the essential part of the essential oil, the active component. So all oils in the world fall into one of four categories: authentic, manipulated, perfume, or synthetic. So authentic means that the oils are 100% pure with no added synthetics or other species in the bottle. So this is what I'm saying. So lavender is another one that's constantly cut with, instead of being pure lavender, this is a Lavandula augustifolia, they'll use something called lavandin, which is a very easy to grow, cheap version of lavender that doesn't have the same chemical components. So you may have a teeny little tiny bit of this, and then the rest is lavandin. And that is where you run into issues, because this lavender you can place on burns. It is actually very healing and soothing to burns. I would not recommend lavender or oil in general on a burn ever, but I have used lavender and I have seen a burn that would have been awful be no more than like a small red dot on my arm. So really crazy the things that these oils can do. So Young Living oils are 100% pure and authentic. There are manipulated oils, so that means that the final product has been made to smell more pleasing and less earthy. You'll notice that with some of the oils, earthy is the way to describe it. They just have like a funk when you first start smelling them. And it's because you've never really smelled the pure oil before. You've always smelled like a glossy version of that from Bath and Body Works or wherever. Or what was the other one? Body Shop. You've always smelled the kind of sweetened up version, which isn't true. It's not real. And so some of the heavier molecules, the active components, have been stripped out of those oils. Or another species is introduced to enhance the aroma, to make it more like what we would expect from a synthetic perfume. So perfume oils are not pure. They are mixed with synthetics to enhance the aroma. These oils have zero therapeutic action. So if you see perfume or parfum, they are not essential oils. They have no active components. They are literally just there to smell, and typically they are not real and can cause headaches and endocrine disruption, all sorts of nasty things. They're frequently, solvents are used to extract from the plants for perfume oils. So that means that they're using a chemical process to get the oils out of the plant, which puts chemicals in the product, right? So this is where, again, we run into the hormone disruptors and the headaches and all the things that are yucky and gross with all of that side of things, right? So we want to be very mindful about what our products say. And then synthetic oils aren't true oils at all. They smell nothing like the original plant, and they're typically labeled as scented products, and they're synthetic. They're not real. They were made in a lab super cheaply with chemicals that have not been tested fully by the FDA for topical use, consumption, even aromatherapy to an extent, because again, what you breathe in goes into your bloodstream almost immediately. Imagine breathing in those chemicals over and over and over and over and over in every product that you use throughout the day, or in, things that candles you light on fire, or those plug-in things, or the sprays that you spray. Imagine being inundated by that. So this is where a lot of times, a lot of women that I coach for nutrition, they have hormone issues. And one of the first things we'll do is we'll clean out their cupboards, because if they're using a cream and then a beauty product or a perfume or a spray on something, and then they're cleaning stuff with these other chemicals, that all adds up and it hurts your detoxification system. It hurts your hormonal systems, and it really does a number on your whole body. So really being mindful of what's in your products. So authentic is the only true pure oil. Synthetic oils would be like opening your fridge, taking out a glass of orange juice and diluting it 95% before you drink it, and diluting it with chemicals, not just like water. It wouldn't have the same benefits that a full glass of only orange juice would have, freshly squeezed. And that's why you want authentic oils. Before you purchase, you want to check to see that the company grows their own plants, has seed to seal, and controls the entire process. So Young Living controls from farm to the sealed bottle. Like literally everything is done with their oversight. Nothing is done without their say-so. Pesticides, pollution, previously farmed land, all of that can affect the quality of an oil. So why would you go the extra step of using oils to get away from chemicals, only to use an oil laden with chemicals, right? It's very counterintuitive, but you don't realize, like, you don't know what you don't know, right? You would go to the health food store and pick up a bottle of oil and think that it was the real McCoy. And then, it's not. It's actually not, which is super unfortunate. It makes no sense. So Young Living seed to seal process is a promise of integrity. There's no pesticides used, as I said, no chemicals, no weed killers. The plants are harvested at their peak. Like I said, they do that testing consistently. And then they're then put through another vigorous testing process as they distill it, as they process it. And then they go from the farm directly to our homes. So see all the lovely oils I have. So yeah, the seed to seal isn't a slogan. It's a promise of the quality of the oils that you get. So most essential oils are sold more cheaply because companies cut corners to save money, right? It's the economy, it's capitalism. If you spray your crop with pesticides, you have more crop to distill. You also have less staff or less workers that you have to pay. Typically, they would be paying minimum wage anyway. If you use a chemical solvent to extract the oil, you pull more out. So that's true. So there is oil still left in the plant after Young Living has used it. But they're not gonna use chemicals. They're not gonna do that. They're not gonna harm the quality and integrity of that oil just to eke out every last bit of oil. If you dilute it with a cheaper oil or a carrier oil, you stretch out the oil you've distilled, right? And then they can sell it more cheaply that way as well. So we just want to be mindful of where everything's coming from. And who is doing it, right? Is the company aware of all of that? Are they owning their farms? Are they looking into the chemical processes? So how oils are made. This is the reason for the cost for some of our oils. So it takes a great deal of work to produce a tiny amount of essential oil. So you need 60,000 rose blossoms to provide only 1 ounce of rose oil. I don't even like, these aren't 1 ounce. 1 ounce is like a half a shot glass is 1 ounce, right? If you have the big tall ones, that's a ton of roses, maybe literally, to produce 1 ounce of oil. So rose oil is the most expensive in Young Living's catalog. It's almost $500, I think, or $450 for 1 5 milliliter bottle. It's insane, but it's also one of the highest vibrational oils. And this is why it's incredible the work that goes into having to do that. Lavender is abundant, so 220 pounds of lavender will provide 7 pounds of oil. So that's a pretty good yield. Jasmine flowers, interestingly, must be picked by hand before the sun becomes hot on the very first day they open. This makes it one of the most expensive oils in the world. So it's not the most expensive in Young Living's catalog, but it is fairly pricey. It takes 8 million hand-picked blossoms to produce 2.2 pounds of oil. So again, lavender was 220 pounds. Jasmine is 8 million blossoms. So that's a ton. And they have to be hand-picked before the sun becomes hot on the very first day they open. Like, how crazy is that? But how, beautiful is that process, right? That they take that care to know that science, to know that that's when those chemical compounds are at their highest to provide you that oil. It's mind-blowing. A sandalwood tree must be 30 years old and 30 feet high before it can be cut down for distillation. So Young Living sandalwood trees must be 90% dead before they are harvested. So they work really hard with the sandalwood. I actually spoke to one of the farmers of a sandalwood farm in Peru, I believe. He came for a talk here with, again, with the group that I'm with Young Living, called Pure Culture. And he was telling me that the regenerative nature of it, so they plant a certain amount of trees every year, they harvest a certain amount of trees every year just to keep that cycle going and ensure that they have supply. But it can be difficult, right? There's insects, there's droughts, there's stuff that happens that affect that harvest. So again, really, really fascinating stuff. But a little goes a long way. Most oils are about $10 to $30 a bottle. And depending on the thickness or the viscosity, each 5 milliliter bottle, so a smaller bottle like this, contains about 90 to 100 drops, and each 15 milliliter bottle, so 3 times that, contains about 200 to 240 drops. So if it's thicker, you get less drops. What I like to do, and I have it on my vanilla oil, is I buy a little dropper from Amazon, and that way I get the most out of my oil because the dropper picks up a lot more. And so even one small bottle, so each application is 1 to 3 drops. So a small bottle will get you 45 to 90 applications. So you're not going to go through one of these immediately. And I was speaking to someone the other day at one of my classes, and she was like, I kind of do this. And I'm like, don't do that. There's some oils, fine, sure, whatever. But there's a lot of oils where, you're spending good money on this stuff and you want the therapeutic benefits. You're not just gonna, shake, shake, shake. You want to be mindful of the drops. And it's actually, again, kind of a mindfulness practice, right? It's really leaning into counting the drops as they come out and then getting that experience of the smell. Like there's a lot there that we can just take that moment to slow down and appreciate, right? So this is, again, the ritual almost of oils really gets me. I love it. So something like the Thieves Cleaner is made of only plants, and costs about $1.50 a bottle to make. So the Thieves Cleaner, I have it behind me, but I'm not going to reach. It's a concentrate. So I use a cap full of the cleaner for each all-purpose spray bottle that I make, a 16-ounce spray bottle. And I get about 25 to 29 bottles of all-purpose spray out of that one container because it's a concentrate. And so, like that blows any health food store or grocery store cleaner out of the water. And it replaces a multi-purpose cleaner, a glass cleaner, and a floor cleaner. All the cleaners you can make. I've made like a bath scrub. You can make like a hardwood floor cleaner. You can make glass cleaner. I use it for all of my windows and mirrors. It replaces everything. And I mean, when you look at the organic or clean versions or green washed versions of those at the store, you're looking at like $4 to $6 per bottle at a minimum, right? Like they're not cheap because they're so heavily marketed. Whereas the Thieves line is 10 times better, way cleaner than a lot of what I've seen on the market, which is why I got into DIY cleaners, because I knew I could make a cleaner myself. And it's way cheaper. It's so economical. It's crazy. Are they safe? So this is one that I get sometimes is, again, there are chemical compounds in here. This is real science and real stuff that works. So there are certain oils that are photosensitive, meaning that you don't want to wear them and go outside with them on. Mostly these are citrus oils like grapefruit and lemon. So if you were to put lemon oil on your skin before you went out, chances are you could end up with a little bit of a rash or sometimes like a bleaching of the skin. Again, because it's got that photosensitivity to it, the high vitamin C content too. So like if you wear a vitamin C serum ever, they tell you to never wear vitamin C and then go out in the sun because it can hurt your skin. It can burn. So that's what photosensitivity means. So you just want to be mindful of that. When using on your skin, always watch for redness. Some oils are considered hot. I'll talk about that in a minute. And dilute them with carrier oils as necessary. So carrier oil, and then dilute oils on children. So carrier oil is like, I've got fractionated coconut oil here that I use to make my rollers. You can use that. I've used avocado oil. Olive oil, you can use in a pinch, but because it has like a smell to it, I don't like using it as much. I prefer avocado. And so for kids, you always want to make sure that you're diluting oils on them because their skin is more goes through their skin. It's more permeable, and it absorbs the oils more quickly than our tough adult skin. And so coconut oil, olive oil, jojoba, all of those oils are, their molecules are much bigger than the essential oils. And so what happens is it slows down the rate at which the body absorbs the oils. So it blends in and it just slows down that process a little bit. And so we want to be also wary of putting any essential oils near your eyes. So I occasionally will get really bad migraines and I'll put peppermint on my temples and my eyes will water immediately. Because I'm also a goof and it's always like at bedtime I get these weird migraines. So I don't bother diluting them. I just put like a drop on my fingers and rub it in and I deal with it because it does help me immensely, but my eyes do water. It can cause a burning sensation. It's funny now that I think about it. I used to use peppermint extract in high school in theater to fake cry. Isn't that crazy? Totally forgot about that until just now. There we go. It works. I knew it. I knew it intuitively way back in the day. If you're placing an oil near your eyes, you should always apply to a Q-tip instead of your finger or tipping the bottle towards your face. You want to be very careful of that because sometimes it comes out really fast. So that's why I always put it on my finger. Q-tips are preferred. Again, I'm in bed. I'm not getting it. I have a headache. I'm just doing what I'm going to do. Don't be me. Okay. Okay. You become desensitized to an oil if you use the same one day after day. So I do like to rotate my oils every 3 to 4 days. So if I notice that I'm using kind of peppermint heavy diffuser blends, I'll rotate them out. You just want to, again, it's the same idea with anything in health, everything in moderation. If you're using it every single day, you're not always getting the same benefits. So, even for skincare, as I said, I use frankincense all the time. I will take sometimes like just little breaks in between and I'll try something else or I'll use a different product. For internal use of essential oils, so the National Association for Holistic Aromatherapy, one of the top aromatherapy schools in the US, does not advocate essential oils for internal use. Why? Because most oil companies don't carry any, they're called GRAS, so generally regarded as safe essential oils. But Young Living Vitality, or the Young Living Plus line of oils, are certified as safe for internal ingestion. Like I said, Health Canada and the FDA in the US have certified these oils as safe for ingestion, just like a food additive. So like this is lime, you would consider this like lime flavoring, right, is what they would list it as, or like vanilla would be like extract, lime extract, right? So that's what that is classified by both the FDA and Health Canada. They base a lot of their decisions on the British model, which advocates, so the British model is topical only. They don't really diffuse and they don't really ingest. So it's unfortunate that they've based their decisions on that. Anyways, the British studies are a little bit flawed. So there was one done at extremely high doses, or like literally pouring, like I said, like chugging a bottle of oil. That was what the study was based on. And no one in their right mind is doing that. I literally have 1 to 2 drops of lime and maybe 1 to 2 drops of frankincense in my Ningxia. And that's what I find works. I love making a thieves tea too. I'll talk about that in a little bit. I'm going to try and rush through this because I want to talk to you about the oils. I'm almost there, trying to keep this to an hour. We're almost there. Thank you for bearing with me. So Young Living uses all 3 methods of aromatherapy, topical, aroma, or diffused, and ingesting. The French have been safely using some essential oils internally for decades. And you also have been consuming essential oils for most of your life. So like when you chew gum or put oregano in your pasta sauce, the key using essential oils internally is to make sure you're checking the labels first. So again, you want to make sure that they're 100% pure is the big one. And are they certified in any way? So Young Living has the separate labels to ensure that you know that those ones are specifically certified. So in Canada, we don't have it yet, the frankincense oil. We don't have it in the Plus line, but it is part of the Vitality line. And as I said, those oils are the exact same in each bottle. They haven't changed the frankincense oil or the lime oil or whatever to make it food grade. It's the exact same oil. So that one has been tested by the FDA. I just don't know if maybe Health Canada hasn't tested it yet, or if they just didn't bother. Sometimes they haven't brought things to Canada yet. Hopefully it's coming. But yeah, so the Vitality line or the Plus line have the white labels, so you can easily recognize which ones are specifically signed off for internal use. So on the flip side, look at the ingredient list on what you have in your bathroom and kitchen. Every day we put products on our skin and our body and breathe them, but many of these products contain damaging chemicals, right? The average woman applies over 300 chemicals every day to her body just through soaps, makeup, shampoos, hair care products. 80 of those products are applied before breakfast. So not necessarily the products, but the chemicals, right? The amount of chemicals in each product, you're applying at least 80 before breakfast. It's crazy when you think about it. When you see Young Living's essential oils, you're using a product with one ingredient, right? So all of these are typically single ingredients. The ones I'm going to talk to you about today are singles, but like here's the abundance oil. It's a blend and it tells you what's in it. But again, they're 100% pure oils that have been blended together. So there's no synthetic additives and nothing yucky or gross or going to mess up anything in your body in them. There's no chemicals at all. So I know all this can be a bit overwhelming, but I can tell you how I started really digging into these, and that was with the Young Living Starter Kit. So it's the only item on Young Living's website that is half off consistently. So the value of the oils and the diffuser and everything that you get in the kit is over $400 and it's $199. So again, the value you're getting is incredible. And if you're a frugal mama like me, like again, I was DIYing everything, cost matters, right? So for you to be able to get all of these in oils that individually would cost you over $400 for about two, just makes sense. And especially if you're interested and you want to get into a cleaner lifestyle, this is a really great way to get going and to really learn about what you're using in your home and what you can replace. You can replace so many things with these oils. So it comes with 11 bottles of oil and a diffuser. It also comes with a sample of a small Thieves hand sanitizer. So this was huge, sold out instantly when the pandemic hit. This is not your ordinary, it's not the crap you get in other sanitizers. So this is an alcohol-based sanitizer, but it has peppermint essential oil in it as well, which denatures the alcohol. And what that means is that one, it smells freaking fantastic, but two, it doesn't leave your hands dry and cracked. So during the pandemic, there were a lot of even kids, especially, that had dry, cracked hands because of the amount of washing and sanitizing they were doing. Thieves will leave your hands feeling softer and be completely sanitized. So really awesome that they give you a sample of that. You also get 2 sample packs of the Ningxia Red. This is my go-to every single day. Me and my girls have a shot of Ningxia. I like to have mine as like a spritzer, and my girls take theirs at their breakfast in a little baby shot glass that they just drink out of. And you also get some bottles of oils to share, like little empty bottles, so you can share with your friends and family, or, you know, my girls love to play with them. So we're going to talk about the oils one by one. So the first one I'm going to talk about is frankincense. This is, like I've mentioned, one of the top skin oils. It helps to smooth the appearance of skin. It's a key ingredient in, Young Living has a brain power essential oil blend. So it's one of the key ingredients there. And it's really helpful for grounding, really helpful for, you know, if you're feeling like you need just something to ground you into the moment. So a lot of people will use it for meditation or prayer. Really helpful for that. So this one was really good for me. And I actually love using it as my skin serum because, again, it just gives me that little bit of ritual and that little bit of calming moments in the morning or in the evening when I use it. So really lovely there. The next one is the lavender. So we know it as the oil of relaxation, but we also call it the Swiss Army knife of oils because it can be used for so many different things. It can be diffused for a calming, soothing aroma. You can add a few drops to a bath. So if you're adding essential oils to a bath, a little tip here, add it to an Epsom salt or baking soda or something else that you're putting in the water. You never want to add essential oils directly into water because it'll sit on top. It won't actually go into the water and diffuse within the water. It'll just kind of sit on top. It may get on your skin that way, but it's not doing the most it can do. So I'll always add oil onto my Epsom salts and then put that into the bath, and it just helps it to disperse throughout the water as opposed to sitting on top. So this is also one of the top oils for supporting healthy skin. And again, it's got just so many uses, as I said, for burns and things like that. It's incredible. So peppermint is the next one. Supports gastrointestinal comfort. So peppermint is, again, all of these are used for so many different things. I love it for headaches. I'll diffuse it if I have a headache. I'll put it on topically if I have a headache. Because it's kind of a hot oil, when you put it on, it kind of has that like Bengay or like A535, like AC hot situation going on. So really great for tight muscles. But you can also use it on your stomach. You can also use it internally. And it promotes healthy bowel function and enhanced healthy gut function. So really great for your body overall. Peppermint, as we know, is a carminative. So what that does is it actually helps to release gas in the system. So if you ever feel bloated, or, there's another oil that I'm going to talk about that does that too, but this is one of the main pieces of that oil. Helps maintain just the efficiency of the intestinal tract. And it's also been shown to perhaps, this is science in motion, support performance in exercise. So when you're exercising, you can diffuse this, and it just gives you a boost of energy. Like, it is quite an uplifting oil, so it just gives you that extra little drive to keep going. The next one is Thieves. So my Thieves oil is here. Thieves is really helpful for supporting a healthy respiratory system, and helps maintain overall wellness. So you can take it as a dietary supplement. So I was alluding to my Thieves tea. If I ever feel like a tickle, or if I've been in a room with people I know are sick, if my kids have come home and I all of a sudden get on the school group chat that like so-and-so is sick, I'll add this to, well, first I'll have it diffusing everywhere. Because it actually does clean the air. So it will kill bacteria in the air. So I put this in every diffuser on every floor in our house. But I'll also make a tea with it, or I'll add it to my Ningxia, depending on the day. But a tea with it is really lovely. So hot water, a little bit of honey, and one drop of Thieves is really nice. It's very cinnamony, and the clove as well. It's a really, really lovely tea, and very helpful when taken internally. So that's Thieves. Really great for cleaning too. I love putting it either in my laundry or using it. I use the Thieves cleaner, and that has the Thieves scent to it. Next one is lemon. So the citrus flavor, you can again use this internally. This one is not the internal label. This is the yellow label. But this is like the natural Goo Gone, right? So as I said earlier, I use this actually when I'm done my bottles, I soak them in hot water first to extract the oil from the bottles, and I use that water in my diffuser, so I get like that last little oomph from the bottle. But then I take the labels off, and if there's any residue left over, I'll use lemon oil to remove that residue, and it's really, really helpful and works really well. Lemon, so you can also put this in your water. It has the same effects as fresh lemon water, so it helps to again just get that detoxification function moving, light those digestive fires, and really great for overall health and well-being, and great for cleaning too. So I add this to my Ningxia spray cleaner, especially my glass cleaner. I love the smell of it, and into my laundry as well. So for my laundry, I'll either add it to my detergent, because again, the Thieves detergent is a concentrate. So I get 3 bottles of laundry detergent from one. And I just add a little bit of lemon essential oil to that. And it gives like a nice citrusy scent to the laundry. So, or I use dryer balls, and I'll put the oil on the dryer ball itself. Pan away. Think pain away, pan away. This one is excellent for if you are at the gym, or if you've been playing with your kids and you've pulled something, or your muscles are just really tight. There's a roller ball that comes in the starter kit. And what that is just an attachment that goes on that has a roller instead of a drop top, and you just roll it on. So you can mix this with a carrier oil to dilute it. But I use it for my tension headaches. So my shoulders, my neck, my upper back, sometimes my lower back, sometimes my legs, if I've done a lot of exercising or stairs or whatever. Really, really helpful. The main ingredient in here is wintergreen. And again, it gives you that icy hot sensation. And then there's also in here helichrysum, which is really helpful for healing, clove, and peppermint. So really, really great blend that's helpful for everyone. My husband uses that one a lot too. And great for kids with growing pains. So I actually did use it on my youngest at one point. I diluted it further. So I did use, I made her own roller ball with the coconut oil, and rolled that on her legs, because she had one night where she was just screaming in pain. It was really hurting her. So we put some Panaway on, and that helped to relax it. Copaiba, Copaiba is how I say it. I don't know if that's how it's meant to be said. I think a lot of people say Copaiba. But this is actually very anti-inflammatory. So a lot of people who use Panaway for muscles will actually put Copaiba on first, and it helps to reduce the inflammation, and then they go in with the Panaway. So it promotes overall wellness, supports the immune system, also a great skin oil called the frankincense of South America. So it doesn't really have much of a smell. It's like a little bit very light cinnamon almost, but super light. Like it doesn't, you wouldn't know it if you smelled it at all. Also actually very effective for teething pain because it's anti-inflammatory on young children topically on their chin underneath wherever the tooth is that's popping out. I've spoken to many moms who have sworn by this and it's been fantastic for them. So Digize is the next oil up. Digize is a blend of oils that is specific for digestion. Again, you could use the roller top on this and roll it on your stomach if you've had too much to eat. I use this a lot at Christmas or Thanksgiving. Anytime you feel bloated, constipated, diarrhea, nausea, even we use Digize just to help any type of stomach issue. It's really a really great blend. Here it's got ginger as the first ingredient, which is important. Peppermint. That's not all it is. That's all it's showing because that's the active ingredients. But I know it definitely has fennel in it as well because it does smell quite fennel-y. So if you're not a licorice fan, this may not be your favorite, but I can tell you it is so worth it. So tarragon, juniper, fennel. I don't know what that is, but it's not telling me the name. Cymbopogon flexuosus essential oil. Anise. So again, anise is a type of fennel. And pogostemon cabin leaf essential oil. So again, all oils that are specific to digestion, to digestive health, ginger, fennel, mint, all of those help relieve digestive discomfort. And then, so which ones have we? I feel like I've missed one. I've missed three. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I've missed a whole bunch. So peppermint, I went over peppermint. I already did that one. Purification is the other oil that I love for cleaning. We're over an hour, shucks. Sorry, I will wrap this up quickly because I respect your time. Purification, I love this one. It was one that I didn't know what to expect before I got the kit. And I have to say, it was initially my favorite oil in the whole kit, other than the Northern Lights Black Spruce and Thieves, you know. It is lemongrass based, and it is the Febreze or anti-stink oil in here. So I actually put drops of this in my husband's shoe. You can put it on cotton pads and put them in shoes. Great for hockey gear. I use it in all of our garbage cans. You can use it in diaper pails. I saw a recipe for putting it in kitty litter too, but our cat's not too bad. Thankfully, knock on wood. So don't need it there, but really great. I actually put drops on this on my my vacuum bag. And now it smells freaking awesome whenever I vacuum, which is like plus because I'm not the biggest vacuumer. Okay, moving on. RC stands for respiratory care. This is actually diffusing right now in my youngest bedroom because she's been a little bit snotty. So what this is it's a blend of eucalyptus oils that helps to, again, open up the airways, open up the sinuses, get everything moving, and allow you to take those deep breaths. RC has also been helpful for anyone who does yoga or exercise that wants more oxygen. Like you want to be able to breathe better because nose breathing, and I was saying I was reading that book about breathing. Nose breathing is where it's at. You never want to breathe through your nose. Or sorry, never want to breathe through your mouth, always through your nose, because you actually get more oxygen and carbon dioxide. It's like a whole thing. Again, I'm going to post a little bit about it on my Instagram because it's fascinating, but you want to make sure that you can breathe through your nose always. So RC is one that we use a lot of because I also hate having my nose stuffed at night. So if ever I feel that way, I throw the RC on the diffuser. Works like a charm. It's so good. RC and peppermint are fantastic. RC, peppermint, and lemon as well. I've done RC and thieves. Just mix it with everything, and it just helps so much. Panaway we talked about, and then we didn't talk about Northern Lights Black Spruce. I alluded to it a few times. So Northern Lights Black Spruce is from the only young living Canadian farm in BC. And it's like a forest in a bottle. I got the kit for myself just before Christmas the year that I bought it. And I had this on little diffusers all over my Christmas tree because it just smells so beautiful. So it is a spruce, it's a conifer oil. And the beauty of it too is that it's actually grown under the Northern Lights in BC, in northern BC. So it's taking in the energy, the energetics of that. And it's the beauty of the tree oils is that they say you've got like the upper parts, the upper branches that kind of sway in the breeze, and they're very, movable and flexible. And then you've got the roots that dig deep down into the earth and just grab that beautiful earth power. And they're very strong and sturdy and grounded. And so with conifer and pine and tree oils in general, you're getting a full whammy of like emotional support, mental support, stability and flexibility all in one incredible package. So as I said, I have this in the diffuser right now, and it's just the nicest smell you'll ever smell. It's like walking through a forest, and I will never get tired of it. So this is a little bonus oil. It's not in the top level. I'll show you what the kit looks like inside. So you've got spots here for 10 oils, and then you have to open it up. And this, I've had a lot of people call me being like, they didn't send me the oil. So in here is where you find your Thieves hand sanitizer and your 2 samples of the Ningxia, and the Northern Lights Black Spruce is tucked away in here, like a little secret gem, because that's what it is. So yeah, so the kit's really, really awesome. I highly recommend it. As I said, it's the only product on Young Living's website that is always on sale, 50% off to boot. And again, you can do so much with these oils. It's literally life-changing for you and your family. There are other kits too that you could start with. So if you already have diffusers, there's kits that are just oils. They come with different ones, but actually some of my favorite ones are in those kits too, like Peace and Calming and Stress Away. There's benefits to each kit. If you want to learn more, please feel free to send me a message. I'm happy to talk to you about them and talk you through them. And so how do you order? So send me a message, and what I'll do is I can walk you through it, or you can go to the youngliving.com website, and you would just click become a member. And so what happens is you would use my number as your sponsor and enroller when you log in. And it's that simple. And then you can place your order for your kit right away, or you can just get yourself an account and look at what you can get. So with an account, you get 24% off. You always get the wholesale price. You do not have to sell anything. You do not. So that was always my fear, is that like, if I become a brand partner, I'm now selling things. You don't have to do that. You can just order for yourself. Again, sometimes you might get a bonus check, but you might not either. Like it's totally up to you and what you want to spend, what you want to do. And so there's a few perks right now to ordering in March. One of them is if you were to buy this kit, you get 100 PV, so that's called points volume, and you get 2 freebies with that. You get a full-size bottle, I don't have it with me, of the Thieves Whitening Toothpaste. It's actually the toothpaste that myself and my husband use every single day. It's minty, it's beautiful, it's got 0 fluoride. It's got hydroxyapatite in it, which is actually useful for rebuilding the mineral of your teeth. It's also got orange oil in it, which is the whitening component. Orange oil is incredible for that. And then also in March right now, for the next week, because it's Young Living's 10th anniversary of being in Canada, they are also giving away a free bottle of Joy essential oil for any orders of 100 PV or more on new enrollments. So if you haven't ever ordered before, or if you have a new email address, we can sign you up and get you this little bottle of Joy. Literally, it's actually, this is an oil that I wasn't a fan of when I first got it. It's very floral, but it's interesting the things that happen when you start this journey. And, you know, I didn't think that joy was a part of my life at that point, and I hated it. And now that I'm like fully embracing things and starting to find my joy again, I'm finding that I love this. So it's fascinating how these things work and the way that our brains associate things, right? Anyway, so thank you. I know we went a little bit over. We are at an hour and 7 minutes-ish. But thank you again for joining me so much. I really appreciate your time here tonight. I will be sending out the replay. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm going to turn off the recording. And yeah, you can always find me either via email or on my Instagram. Yeah. Okay. Let me stop the recording here and you can ask some questions.